What's up, party people? Yes, we are so close to playoff season, but there is a storyline that has been overshadowing playoff season, and that is Bronny getting drafted for the 2024 to 2025 season. He recently declared, and I want to talk all about that as well as some recent NBA Hall of Fame inductees and the Kobe statue. I'm Jaya Tewari with Lakers Digest, and let's get right into it. So like I mentioned, Bronny declared for the 2024 to 2025 NBA draft, which means we could see him in the NBA as soon as this upcoming October, which is crazy to think about. So this news broke just about last week. That's not necessarily the news here, but interestingly enough, Shams had a interesting take on Bronny and his potential status in the NBA. But before I get into that, I want to go over some quick comments about him declaring for the NBA draft in the first place and what that means for his future. So, as we know, Bronny is not necessarily an elite player, to say the least. He's only averaging 4.8 points a game during his season with USC. Granted, it was cut short quite a bit because of his health issues, and he's playing less than half of each game, which again, is due to his heart condition. You don't want to risk that, but his other stats aren't super impressive. Only 2.8 rebounds, 2.1 assists, barely any blocks, and less than 1 steal. So nothing crazy out of the ordinary. Obviously, we know that the draw is he is LeBron's son, which brings me to Shams's quote. He said that when he talks to NBA teams, there is a clear consensus that as a defender, he, as in Bronny, is already at the caliber of an NBA defender, which I thought was a crazy statement from Shams for so many reasons. I mean, obviously, like I said, Bronny's offense is not what we've been focusing on. His draw is that he is LeBron James' son, but he's also only a freshman, so he does have a lot of room to grow. Nobody's judging his entire career just based off of these first season stats, but I thought this kind of quote about his defense was really interesting because, I mean, as you guys know, if you're loyal fans of Lakers Digest, I am huge on defense and think it is just so overlooked in the NBA, especially considering how many players just basically don't play defense these days. I mean, obviously with your offense, that is the showmanship and the exciting part. You want to see players having 50-point games, even if they average 3 points a game. Another game, you know exactly who I'm talking about. But that's like the draw. That's the flashy stuff that we want to see. But defense is what wins championships, and it is something that is really necessary. So I thought that was super interesting. Shams said that. He didn't really have a ton of actual backing as to why. No hard stats to back that up. Obviously, it's hard to find actual stats on defense, and is more just from watching the player. But I thought that was a really interesting read by Shams. But again, I want to talk about, is he actually going to get drafted? So basically, here, and similarly from The Athletic, they stated that many fringe prospects declare for the draft every year and return to college. The process allows them to receive evaluations from NBA scouts on what they can work on to improve their stock. Useful. Some players enter multiple times and return. And James is already in the transfer portal, which was expected after USC coach Andy Enfield left for SMU. So he's open to transfer at any time. And as Sam Vicente noted in our last write-up, having an actual summer to develop, he missed time last summer after suffering cardiac arrest, could be really beneficial. And I thought that was a great summary of kind of where I'm standing on the topic. I think that him declaring doesn't really mean that he's going to play this upcoming season. I know that LeBron is constantly making all these cryptic comments about next season maybe being his last and that he's leaving soon, and I'm worried that he's kind of forcing Bronny into the NBA on his own timeline. But we know LeBron's not retiring until he gets to play at least one season with his son in the NBA. Hopefully on the same team. LeBron really wants that, but we'll see if that actually happens. Again, hopefully it is for the Lakers, but I think that this is just really a great strategic move by Bronny to kind of get feedback from these NBA scouts. Shams said his defense is already great, so if these NBA scouts see this as his biggest strength, they'll give him even more ways he can improve on it and just become an elite defender in the NBA, especially if Shams already thinks he's at NBA defender status, which I think is a crazy claim, but obviously a lot of the major growth on Bronny's end is going to have to be in his offense. He's nowhere near an offensive powerhouse. And I think the point about him having an actual summer to develop is also really crucial. Again, just so much of his season was robbed from him because of his health issues. So I really hope he gets at least one healthy year in college to develop. I saw some other kind of rumors, or not rumors, like thoughts, opinions, whatever you want to call it, going around that kind of throwing him into the NBA, though, would be a way to kind of supercharge his development. He'd be forced to level up and reach the level of play as the other NBA players. So it'd kind of be like throwing him to the wolves, and his growth would be exponential. But I'm personally in favor of him playing another year of college, and I think that's what would be best for him. It'll also be worth keeping an eye on if he transfers or not. I think whether he transfers or not is also going to be a huge indicator of where LeBron goes. I made a past video talking about how LeBron is likely to stay in LA because he has his roots here, his family's here, his son Bronny goes to USC, but if Bronny ends up transferring somewhere else, maybe even on the East Coast, that might give some East Coast teams some leverage for LeBron, because then his son would be on the East Coast, his family wouldn't be so heavily in California, so I don't know. We'll see what happens there, but definitely worth keeping an eye on. I really do think that Bronny should play another year of college, but we'll see if his dad has any extra weight there and kind of forces him into the NBA to align with LeBron's own timeline of when he wants to retire or not. So really, we'll see what happens. I'm just really, really intrigued to see, and it's just like such a huge storyline and a will he, won't he kind of thing that's been going on for so long now. And again, we'll just have to see what happens. But moving topics onto instead of future Lakers players, let's talk about some past Lakers players. So, Lakers legend Michael Cooper was named to the Basketball Hall of Fame this past week. Long overdue. Michael Cooper was instrumental to so many Lakers championships, and Magic Johnson himself kind of announced this naming of Michael Cooper to the Basketball Hall of Fame. But let's look at some quick kind of overview of Michael Cooper and why he got inducted. So the 6'7" Cooper was named to the NBA's All-Defensive First Team 5 times and won NBA Defensive Player of the Year in 1987. He was especially skilled at two features of the modern NBA game, the three-point shot and the alley-oop dunk. And after his playing days ended, Cooper became head coach of the Sparks in November 1999 and led the team to consecutive WNBA titles in 2001 and 2000. And then, in addition to that, he also coached the Albuquerque Thunderbirds of the NBA's D-League, now the G League, from 2005 to 2007, and led that team to a championship as well in 2006, then returned to coach the Sparks again from 2007 to 2009. He was later the head coach of USC's women's basketball team and the WNBA's Atlanta Dream. Cooper's best friend, like I said, from those 1980s Lakers teams, Hall of Famer Magic Johnson broke the news about his friend's selection on Thursday. So, long overdue, and honestly, maybe this video should have been a defensive player kind of theme, considering how incredible Cooper was on defense. Even Larry Bird himself said that Michael Cooper was the best defender he ever played against, and some of those showdowns between Michael Cooper and Larry Bird were incredible. Very overlooked, obviously, by Magic Johnson and Larry Bird's rivalry, but some of those moments are worth watching as well. And so if you want to read Magic's full statement, it is an essay. It's on Twitter, so you can go ahead and search it up there. But here's a brief little overview of it. Basically, just goes on to talk about how he's one of his best friends, greatest defensive player ever, and was also a three-point shooting threat on top of being an incredible defensive player. So, huge congrats to Michael Cooper. Great to see so many past Lakers just getting their flowers. And hopefully we will, at some point, have the most NBA players in the Hall of Fame right now. The Celtics have us beat, which constantly pisses me off. So we just need a few more. Jerry West also got inducted into the NBA, or into the Basketball Hall of Fame for a third time this upcoming class. And so he's also in there once again. So again, Lakers getting their flowers. You love to see it. And then as for another Laker that sort of got us flowers in a different way, Kobe Bryant's statue's errors have finally been fixed as of today, Tuesday, April 9th. If you remember, basically there was a ton of errors on the base of Kobe Bryant's statue, as in the names of Jose Calderon and Von Wafer. They were initially misspelled on the replica box score from Bryant's 81-point game against the Toronto Raptors. I honestly still cannot believe that this was an issue. I can't believe that they screwed up a statue so badly and had multiple spelling errors, especially on such a anticipated statue. I remember when this news broke, I was just like in shock. It just seems like such a ridiculous oversight and something that is so easily preventable. So I'm glad that that got fixed so quickly, but really ridiculous it happened in the first place. And now we can just look forward to whenever eventually Gigi and Kobe statues both get unveiled. Hopefully that is sometime next season, it seems like it'll be. Hasn't been an official date announced yet, but again, looking forward to that. I'm now back in Southern California, so hoping to make a pilgrimage to go see those very soon. And yeah, that is all I got for you today. Again, we'll just have to keep an eye on what is going on with Bronny. He's just always up in the air and just so much drama, much like his dad. But once again, I've been Jaya Tewari with Lakers Digest. Make sure you subscribe to our channel. So many of you watch our videos and don't subscribe, and it makes me so sad. So anyways, we post videos tons of times a week about Lakers news, rumors, post-game reactions, and we even sometimes have cross-channel debates with our other Digest Media family channels. So again, make sure you like, comment, subscribe, all that fun stuff, and I will see you guys later.